Hello, it's Mark Barrett again. Topic of this video is anti-money laundering, and I'm going to particularly focus on the red list. But before we get to the red list, let's just talk about anti-money laundering, AML. Now, every business, whether you're a business or a company, you are responsible to make sure that the conduct of your business is fully in compliance with anti-money laundering regulations. Now, these are established by something called the Financial Action Task Force, and every company will have a Money Laundering Reporting Officer, the MLRO. So for Riverview Property Tax Expat, that's me. I'm the MLRO for our firm. That means that if any suspicious activity is happening, you're not required to be a policeman, but a reasonable person looking at the same facts as you would say, bit worried about this. Okay. You are required to react and deal with it. Now, if you're a client of our firm, you can take advice from us, your solicitors, etc. And if you are aware of any suspicious activity that comes across your desk, you might be required to submit a suspicious activity report, SAR, a SAR report. I'm not going to try and teach all of this. If you are a director of your company, you are responsible for the AML processes within your company. You are responsible to be the MLRO, the Money Laundering Reporting Officer, and to know all about this. We can guide you towards it. We're not lawyers, we're accountants. We will give you some guidance. Where we will get involved is if we are seeing any suspicious activity within your firm. So we have a responsibility to watch what you're doing and have to do something about it. Now, that could be something like a tax fraud. Obviously, as accountants, that's something we're particularly interested to see if someone's trying to commit a tax fraud. If we are, we will tell you not to do it. And if you've been working with us, and at any time was even contemplating going near that, you would have had that reaction from us. We will tell you not to do it. I had the conversation yesterday with a prospective client and said, not happy about what I think you're doing. Unless you're going to do it the right way, we won't get involved with you, etc. And they are going to do it the right way. Well done, Emily. So well done. Okay. Where I want to particularly focus is something called the red list. Now, that's common parlance. We call it the red list. It's actually the Financial Action Task Force list. Okay. There's all these issues about the UK is now outside of the EU with Brexit, etc. So the Financial Action Task Force have a list, the EU has a list, the UK has a list. They might not all be the same, but basically, if they're on any of those lists, make sure you're dealing with things properly. Now, red list. This is a list of countries which are on the FATF list. This is a list of countries which are on the FATF list, and you'll now see that we're going to put that list up in front of you. This is as of October 24. It is updated every quarter, so this is not an exhaustive list. If you're looking at this video a year from now, there might be countries added or deducted from that list. Even if a country is taken off the list, not deducted, but removed from the list, you've still got issues. I'll give you a classic example. The UAE, right, was on the red list. It was taken off the red list, I think it was 2 years ago now, something like that. Banks are still massively worried about anything happening with the UAE. Okay. Obviously, with expat tax advice, I'm in the UAE, Saudi, etc., twice a year. And yes, I've got clients saying, yes, they are paying us. And yes, I have to go through the process with the banks every time to say this is a legitimate transaction where I'm being paid for some work we've done for a client. You just have to deal with it. You have no choice. You have to deal with it. If these countries are on the red list, and you can see the red list in front of you now, the whole point of this is you have enhanced level of due diligence. Not only are you looking to see, well, is there something a bit unusual here, is enhanced. You've got to be paying particular attention to that. So clients who may be trading with those countries, selling to those countries, buying from them. Or maybe you've got family and friends in those areas and you're a property entrepreneur and you've borrowed some money from them. We're always going to have to be very careful as to establish where that money came from. What is that transaction? How is it working? And what's the legitimacy of the transaction? Regardless whether you're on the list or not, if, for example, for our property tax advice clients, you're borrowing money from abroad, then you have to know where did the money come from. And someone's going to say to you, oh, it's just my savings, my earnings. Yeah, fine, prove it. So when you come to the accountants, we're going to say to you, let's prove that. Okay, we want to go back to the bank in whichever country it is, the lawyers in that country, the accountants in that country who are accredited, they've got to be qualified, and get extra evidence that the money was legitimately sourced. It can't be the proceeds of a crime. Now, of course, I'm not insulting any family members who might be loaning you money, but these are the rules. You just have to comply with them. So, conscious of the red list, watch for any transactions with these countries, particularly. Watch for any transactions with other countries where money is being sourced, for example, loans. Now, in addition to all of these, you've got even more, which is there are specific countries and specific trade types where if you have any financial dealings with them, tread with extreme care, and in reality, don't trade with them. Now, these happen specifically and they're named. So it's fairly obvious right now. We're in 2024, moving into 25. We've got all this terrible situation going on in Ukraine. We've got all the worries about what Russia's doing, Belarus is doing. And if you're trading with Russia, trading with Belarus, be very careful now, please. You've got significant regime-focused compliance activity. If you're in electronics, for example, and your electronics could be used in missiles, warfare weapons, again, you've got to be very careful. Chemicals are an obvious one with the chemical warfare. We've seen situations where electronics from European countries were shipped off to a country that is not into the red list, not into those regime changes, but the product was followed. So it went to a third-party country, which then sold to Russia. But you've got to follow your chain of all the way through of what these products being used for. So, very scary video. Sorry about that. Red list, it's real. You've got to comply. Regime and product and types of product that you might be involved in, you've got to be very careful. But also, you have a due diligence with regard to saying, where is money coming from, etc. If you need advice, we can direct you towards guidance, education on AML and your responsibilities. Remember, you have a responsibility here, and if you don't comply with it, you can find yourself into jeopardy. And in this case, the jeopardy is prison. So, scary subject, I know, but sorry, that's the reality of AML in this day and age. I'm not going to ask whether you've enjoyed the video, because I don't expect anyone has, but has it been interesting? If it has been interesting, please say something nice in the comments, please. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We try to put out videos on a fairly regular basis to assist you and educate and give you knowledge. If you need any support from us, the last few slides, the last few frames of this video has all our contact details. And look forward to chatting with you. Thanks.